Hello, everybody. Welcome back here, Ninka and Qatar again. So, how has your week been so far? We're really curious. Did you see all the comments, Qatar?
Yes, I did. And did you see the stories that we tell ourselves?
Yeah, so we're not the only ones. We're definitely not the only ones. So for the second part of this week, we are going to tweak things around. And I had the privilege to work with Qatar on this particular one. Because if we want to listen from our heart, something comes up and there is a split second of choice how you're going to respond. So what we've done with sort of circumstancing listening, now it's really what do you do yourself? And there is a beautiful book, Anatomy for Peace, where it is described. So in a split second, you have a choice to go in defense mode, in a listening from war, or go to your heart and follow your true instinct and listen from the heart. So that choice from listening from war or listening from the heart is a real thing you can train. And Qatar and I discovered something else. And Qatar, you are a specialist in the inner voices, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Becoming present to our inner voices, to where we hook onto the stories of the inner voices and we lose that ability to respond.
So, for example, what voices are we facing in general?
Yeah. Well, there are some voices that are the usual suspects. And those voices would be the voices that tell us the I'm not enough, the story of be careful, you're not going to be loved if you do that, or if you speak your truth, you'll be alone.
Who do you think you are? Stepping up in the peace platform.
Yes.
Stepping up in the peace platform. Who do you think you are? It's so funny because we were together on this, and when Silla Awardi asked me to write a course about listening and communication, I went in, I can't do this. And she responded by email, said, well, Ninka, you've been prepped all your life to be ready for this. You better do it. I fully trust you. You don't need any other course. Okay, if Silla says it, so my voice calmed down. So how do we work with these parts in us?
Yeah, well, I think it's really important at first to recognize that there are parts in us, because we're somewhat socialized to think that there's only one comprehensive whole, when in fact inside of ourselves there are many, many parts that have, and each part has real experiences, like a personality, like a person would, and they like to be treated with kindness, they like to be listened to, they have a purpose. And so it's really about learning how do we become aware first. And the best way that I like to describe it is that it's almost like a hook. It's like you're going through life and there are things that can hook you. And when we're not aware, we just hook unconsciously. And so in those moments, especially when there's an intense charge around what happens, that's a really good moment to stop and look at what's happening inside of ourselves. And typically there would be very strong emotions that are coming up. And that is an indication that there's a part that got triggered.
So emotions are a signal for the parts to speak up.
Yes, absolutely. Emotions are a signal. Inability to do certain things when we really want to do something and we find ourselves procrastinating. Because we have a lot of, so do I. And I'm sure many people watching this also have those parts of, and I get that a lot also with my clients. I want to write a book and I'm stuck, or I want to do this and I'm stuck and I don't know why. And we start to blame ourselves for not being able to. And what I like to do is to shift that into curiosity around what is actually in the way of us not being able to. And that's when we engage with the parts.
It's beautiful. So what we ask you to do is to look at the emotions and start recognizing what voices inside, what parts of you are expressing. So what is blocking you? Or the other one I recognize, and maybe you too, is in certain circumstances I can be impulsive. So that's, I have to do it now. So that's also a part I recognize. So now I'm sort of breathing and listening if the jumping in is necessary, often not. So just
Yes.
be not really in control, but being conscious about my impulses. So that can
Yeah.
be how I respond to others or projects I take on and on and on. You know, really filter what's there and what parts of me are speaking inside. So I'm really curious to what parts and what emotions you face in this second part of the challenge week. And we're again looking forward to the sharings and learn from each other, because the platform we initiated to bring peace together. So we have to know ourselves. We have to know, and we have to start to listen in another way with each other. And as we shared on the other video, it's like it starts at your kitchen table. It
Yes,
starts
it
with
does.
you. It starts
Yes,
with you.
absolutely.
If you
Yeah.
can't do it with yourself, and you can't do it at home, and you can't do it at work, what are we going to world peace?
Yeah, absolutely. It starts in the micro moments and in those micro moments of decision.
So that's what we are going to do in this challenge weeks. You know, the micro moments, condense them,
Yes.
create consciousness around it, and then move on together by sharing and making it work. So I'm really looking forward. And on the 28th, just look at the Facebook, we will having a sharing session on Zoom link. You will be provided with a Zoom link, and then we can share even more in depth to learn from each other, to grow together. Because in GIFEW always we say, together we rise. See you soon.
Indeed. See you soon.